My concern is not really Jalen tonight. I think he's going to play well. I don't think he's going to put up 358 yards or such like that. But I think he's going to play Jalen Hurts football. My problem is with the D coordinator. I do not believe that they could stop that offense. Game time, baby. Time to be a star. Big Silz, National Football Show. We're kind of like your pregame show, getting you ready for tonight's game with the Vikings and Eagles. Also, early game, Titans and Bills. That should be a pretty good ball game. I don't know about the staggered Monday night games here, but I got to tell you, man, I'm throttled about tonight because you know why? All the talk is basically over. We're going to find out who a star is tonight and who's not. We're going to find out if Jonathan Gannon is real or not. Some people still like this guy. I've never liked him from day one. Not the personal Jonathan, but I think you suck as a defensive coordinator. We're going to find out if Jalen Hurts can play in a big moment, baby. You see my boy Carson Wentz yesterday. Holy cow, man. Unbelievable performance. Unbelievable. 21-29 in the second half. Unbelievable. We're going to find out. We are going to find out. Stars are made right here. Jalen Hurts has not won a significant game in his career as a starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Tonight is a significant game. I think it's a benchmark game on the schedule, especially in the first half of the season here before they get into the bye. Rent is due, Showtime. You bet, baby. GT, here we go, baby. 5 hours, rent's due. What happens tonight? Who's the difference maker? We're going to take a look at Week 2 of the National Football League on Sunday. We'll do that also. Gary Cobb is going to be in the first hour from Fox 29. We'll do him at the bottom of the hour, so we'll get Gary's spin. He's going to be giving us his thoughts about tonight's game, a little pregame. We may even bring him back tomorrow and get his thoughts on the game tomorrow and what happens tonight. What happens tonight? I'm going to bury the lead with you. I think the Vikings win 42-20. I don't see Jonathan Gannon. This guy had 35 points put on him by the Lions. He's going to stop that offense. That offense is better than Detroit. All of a sudden, he's going to turn into Bud Carson? I don't think so. All of a sudden, he's going to bring pressure on Kirk Cousins, which you have to. You want to beat Kirk Cousins? You got to pressure him like every other quarterback. Did you see what the New Orleans Saints did to Brady? You know why Brady struggles with New Orleans? Because they bring pressure. Every time Brady, especially internal pressure. And that's what the Saints are able to do to Tom Brady. No way, man. I don't see it tonight. Okay? I don't see it. I don't. By the way, I haven't even gotten to Hurts. And really, my concern is not really Jalen tonight. I think he's going to play well. I don't think he's going to put up 358 yards or such like that. But I think he's going to play Jalen Hurts football. My problem is with the D coordinator. I do not believe that they could stop that offense. And I think the only way that the Vikings get beat tonight is if they do stupid things and Kirk Cousins goes back into being Kirk Cousins in prime time, which is a possibility. It's a total possibility. He could go because look, as much as I say that he has elite numbers, he's not elite in elite moments. This is an elite moment. Primetime football, Buck and Aikman, you got the whole deal. You got the whole deal. And like I said, GT, I'm not really down on Hurts in this game tonight. I don't think he can get into a back and forth with the Vikings. But I do think he's going to play well. Jalen's not going to go out there and turn the ball over. I don't believe, unless the play calling is bad. I don't think Jalen is going to put the team in that position. Okay? I do not. I think Gannon, though, is going to put that defense in uncompromising positions. You play a soft coverage against Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen and Dalvin Cook, they are going to put a 50 burger on you. They are. Okay? This is what I think happens. I think you're going to see Dalvin Cook go for $150. And if he gets $150, that game won't be close. If they can stop the run, that game will be a fourth quarter football game. But they have not shown me any ability to be able to stop the run, especially on first down in 19 ball games. Do they step up tonight? Do the two guys in the middle, Hargrave and Fletcher Cox, they have to have big games tonight. You have got to stop Dalvin Cook from going off and getting gash plays. If Dalvin Cook is held to under 80 yards, like I said, this is a fourth quarter football game. He goes for over $120 and he's around that 150. Holy cow. This is going to be pitch and catch all night. That's one of the keys. And know this, I don't believe they're going to, do you think that you have the talent to play press coverage on Justin Jefferson? As good as Darius Slay is, I do not. He's a better player than Slay. He'll beat Slay. Slay is one of the top corners, but that guy is the best wideout in the game. He's the best. Slay's not the best. Slay will have moments. Jefferson will have the game. Again, it's all going to come down to the guys in the middle. If they can control first down and they can start keep an eye on this stat. Okay? Keep an eye on this stat here. And keep an eye on the game situation. If you see the Vikings in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, the majority of the game, the defense got better and played better. Especially in that second half versus the Lions, I thought there were too many situations where you started seeing the Lions 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2. They got a great back in Swift. Okay? Well, you got a better back here. Cook's a better back. Remember something, too, with that Lions team. There's no gigantic playmakers in the wide receiving core. Jamison Williams is hurt. That team's going to be better in about 4 weeks when that kid gets on the field and he's healthy to play. You got big play wideouts all over the place in Minnesota tonight. So, again, I'm not doing this just to do it. I am saying this because in 19 ball games, I have not seen Jonathan Gannon show me he can stop. Guys, would you agree with me? Have you seen Jonathan Gannon stop a big-time quarterback since he's been in Philadelphia? Yes or no? Have you guys seen him stop a big-time quarterback? Name me one. One quarterback that he's had a good game against that you considered elite. Can you do it? Why am I going to consider this tonight that all of a sudden that trend's going to change? Could the guys show up and play? Player accountability? Absolutely. Am I saying that the Eagles don't have the talent to make this a really good game? Absolutely not. I am saying they can. But I don't know if that coach could put them in a position. My problem, again, going into tonight's game, I don't think that guy could slow – I don't think he can slow offenses down. He has not shown me yet. Has he shown you? That's got to be a major concern. That's why I see some of you guys saying that the game's close. In theory, guys, that game shouldn't be close with the talent you have on defense. Are you a more talented team roster-wise when it comes to the Vikings? I believe you are. I think you are a more talented roster than the Vikings. But I don't believe your coaching staff, especially on the defensive side, can slow elite quarterbacks down. Or here, I'll even back up and say, because I don't think Kirk Cousins is elite, but he puts elite numbers up. You have not shown me in 19, this, like I said last week to you guys, this is not just about the Lions game. This is a trend that I've seen, that this coordinator likes playing everything underneath. You can't do that with a guy like Jefferson and, more importantly, Dalvin Cook. You know what I think is going to be a big play tonight against the Eagles? Screen plays to Cook. Because they're going to be so isolated on trying to stop Justin Jefferson. Swing passes to the backs are going to be something to keep an eye on. Because that's going to soften the zone in the middle of the field. You'll see Jefferson start to take off in the second half of the game. You watch. They're going to pretend. Gannon's number one fear is giving up plus 25 plays. You saw that in that Ravens and Miami game. You can't let wideouts like Tyreek Hill get behind your defense when you know he's the fastest guy in the league. I don't know if I've ever seen the Ravens play a worse defense in my life than I saw yesterday against the Dolphins. That was terrible. And by the way, some of those Tua throws, they were punts. They were punts. I thought some of that stuff looked like fool's gold. We'll get into that as we talk about week 2 of the NFL. Anyway, that's my issue tonight. You notice I didn't really say anything about Jalen? On the offensive side, do you know what I think they're going to do to Jalen? I think they're going to bring run blitzes. I think you're going to see first and second down run blitzes because of what Detroit did last week. It really stymied and really slowed down, I thought, the pass protection. It really didn't affect the Eagle run game, but it affected the pass game, didn't it? Because the Eagles wanted to try to throw the ball on first and second down. And Detroit kind of knew that because of AJ out there. I think the Vikings are going to press AJ. I take AJ on any press coverage with any defensive back in the National Football League, including Jalen Ramsey. He's going to win that. That guy is going to win anybody pressing him. He's that kind of physical specimen. He can play, man. That kid's a great player, and he is as advertised. Okay? But I think they're going to try to jam him. Devontae's got to do something. Okay? And that comes through Jalen, but I think you're going to see a lot of first and second down blitzes, in my opinion. Okay? I do. I think you're going to see the same kind of stuff that Detroit did. Miles Sanders has – Dalvin Cook is a key tonight, so is Miles. Miles gets 100. I'll make a point to you here. Whoever wins the rushing attack tonight, not with Jalen Hurts as your lead rusher, will win the ball game. Remember I said that stat to you. Whoever wins with the running backs and has the most rushing yards will win this game tonight. If Cook has more rushing yards, the Vikings win. If Miles Sanders has more, the Eagles will win. Jalen Hurts can't be your leading rusher tonight because it'll affect the passing game, and you're going to need big plays in the passing game tonight to beat Minnesota. You're not going to go on 14-play drives against Minnesota. You're not. They're going to be amped up tonight too, because you know what's on the line for them? What's on the line for them is this. How'd you like to beat the Packers and the Eagles, two teams that people pick to be potentially Final Four teams in the NFC when it comes to conference championship games? How'd you like to beat those two out of the gate? Somebody's going to look at you in a highlight now and think that you're really one of those teams that has gotten out to a great start, and people are going to keep an eye on you now. Minnesota's got a lot on the line. Kirk Cousins and that offense and that football team under Mike Zimmer have underachieved. There is no doubt about that. It's one thing to put great numbers up. It's another thing to put wins, losses up. And there's too many L's next to the W's. They got a winning record up there with Cousins, but not enough. You got to win more, man. People look at Kirk Cousins and go, empty calories. And most of you are right. Okay? Most of you are right. Jalen's going to have to make plays. In my opinion, he's going to have to make plays in the game of throwing the ball. He's going to have to make some passes in the passing game. And not just to AJ. This guy's got to throw touchdown passes. This guy's got to throw passes down the seam. He's got to make sure, because I think they're going to try to do everything they can to contain the guy. I wouldn't be shocked if Minnesota puts a spy on the kid. I would not be shocked. Okay? Rage goes 38-34 Eagles. That's a close one, right? This game shouldn't be close. Your D coordinator makes it close. That's the sorry thing about this. So again, who do you believe in tonight's game? That's what I think happens tonight. Who is the difference maker in tonight's game with the Vikings and Eagles? I think the difference maker is Dalvin Cook tonight. Dalvin Cook is the difference. How in the world can you defend Justin Jefferson if you got a guy running for 6 yards a carry? You can't. They'll be pitching and catching all night long. Okay, all night long. And for me on the other side, it's Miles Sanders. Okay, it is Miles Sanders tonight. You have to win the rushing numbers tonight. I would give the ball to him 22 times tonight. Make him the focal point of the running attack. If Jalen has to, unscripted, get out in open space, so be it. I'm not telling him not to do that. Saved a week last week against the Lions. Unscripted plays are fine, long as they're positive yards plays. Okay? Long as they're positive yards. But he's going to have to make a play in the passing game. Miles Sanders has to be the key tonight to running the football too. And I'll tell you this, they got to do a better job of picking up the blitzes early on. I do believe Minnesota's going to try to bring pressure. Because what you can't do is, and they know this, Jalen's a one-read guy, okay? With pressure, you turn him into a one-dimensional guy. If you think about it, I know that AJ got big numbers. He got big numbers last week, right? 155, 10 catches. They really, though, made the team one-dimensional. The 155 moved the sticks, but what won the game? Unscripted plays by Hurts on third down. That's what won it. The 216 yards rushing. That's what won it. The 155, they were comfortable, Detroit, letting that guy have that yardage. They were, long as no one else did, and no one else did. They were not, he still threw for under 250. Wasn't like it was some passing game last week. Isn't that crazy? You got a guy go for 10 catches, 155, and your quarterback still throws for under 250 yards. That's kind of remarkable. Most of the time you see 300-yard guys, 400-yard guys, when you see big numbers like that, they make that team still one-dimensional, and they did it in the realm of blitzing him. Sanders has to run the ball, in my opinion. He's got to run. He's got to run, and Devontae Smith has to be a factor tonight. Devontae, here, Sanders, 120, AJ, 100, and Devontae, 100. You win the game. You win the game. But I'm not sure that that's going to happen. We'll see what this coaching staff does. The 7 says Hurts needs better pre-snap reads to help adjust the line protections. You know what, dude? Very good observation. That was one of the issues that you had when it came to miscommunication. Isaac Seumalo was doing that all Sunday last week. By the way, don't forget Gary Cobb here in a couple minutes. Miles will rip off 2 or 3 15-yard runs tonight. Eric, that would be enormous. Understand this. I want you guys to know this. Do I think you have, one more time, I want to emphasize this. Do I think you have more talent than the Vikings when it comes to roster? I do. I don't think your coaches are good enough. I just don't think your coaches are good enough, except for Jeff Stoutland. I don't think you really have anybody on that staff that makes me go, wow, man, boy, these guys are going to game plan a hell of a game tonight. I've not seen that. I think the offensive coaches are way better than the defensive coaches in Philadelphia. I do. And I kind of think somewhat positive of the offensive coaches. But as for the defensive coaches, I don't know. Bunch of dudes. Bunch of young, inexperienced guys coaching veteran dudes never is a good remedy for success, is it? Eagle says, what's your prediction, Silz? I'll say it one more time. I don't believe Jonathan Gannon slows down the Vikings. 42-20 Vikings tonight. 42-20. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I don't think your defensive coordinator in 19 ball games has showed me the propensity to slow down big money quarterbacks. He's not slowing one of them down since he's been the coordinator a year now going into tonight's game too. Until he shows me that, I'm not going to be a guy that's going to sit here and tell you something that I haven't seen. All of a sudden tonight, he turns into this great D coordinator. Okay. That's more wishful thinking. I'm telling you what he's done so far and who he is. He didn't show me any creativity when it came to the Lions game. As a matter of fact, he let the Lions back in that ball game. Silz, I don't know what game you watched last week. Hurts was going through. He was not going. Yeah, progressions? Really? The rest of those 6 guys had 8 catches combined. 6. He stayed in the pocket. None, GT. As soon as it broke down, and it wasn't on his fault, it was because the O-line was giving up the pressure. What game were you watching? How many times was he running for his life unscripted in that game? 10? 11? Boy, you watched a different ball game, man. You got Eagle glasses on, dude. That's not the game I watched at all. And it wasn't really anything about reading progressions. The offensive line got killed in pass protection. I don't know what the hell you're watching, dude. That offensive line had an F in pass protection, an A for run blocking. That's how that thing played out, why they got back in it. Okay? Not sure what game you're watching or watched last week. But Hurts didn't help set protections at the lane against obvious blitzes. I agreed. He's not a progression reading quarterback. He also only passed to one person. Well, he had Goddard a little bit. I mean, Goddard had 3 catches for 60 yards. Why did the offensive coordinators and why did everybody stop going to him? You got a tight end that's going for 20 yards a catch and you just stop? Why? Why did you stop going to Goddard? Goddard was on his way to having an even bigger ball game, and then they got away from it. I think that had more to do with pass protection. Silz, do your sources agree, Gannon, a head coaching candidate? I don't know why, and I don't know how we got that Houston Texans interview. I have no idea